Kessler, free throw line. whistle underneath. We have a foul on Morningside. Bill Herzog says it's on Mike Puppy. That's his second and Morningside fifth. And the Huskies will have the inbound in the backcourt. Now checking in for Morningside, Dave Vanderreger. He's a 6'7" from Boyden, Iowa. Pressure in the backcourt now. Hargsarnowski has the ball. He looks for Kessler. Now to Chris Bogett. And he leaves it for Dino DeVita. Dino quickly across the timeline on the right-handed dribble. Now between his legs as he works against Steve Nurse. Up on top sets the offense. Kessler on the right wing in three-point land. Stops. Fires the three-pointer. Short off the rim. And the rebound tapped out of bounds. Last touch by Stu Kramer. And it will belong to Morningside. Again, no pressure by the Huskies in the backcourt. As Steve Nurse comes across the timeline. He'll work on top of his Dino DeVita. Now Doug Beers with the ball on the left wing. Into the post it goes to Van Drager. He could
basketball with 3 minutes.
NCC averages 18, a little over 18 on the season. Free throw is good. He has 20 points in the first half and has 1 free throw remaining. And the Huskies lead it 39-26. Second free throw good. Dean has 21 points. The Huskies have 40 and they lead it by 14. Into the forecourt now quickly is Beard working against DeVita. Down the paint he goes. He fell to the floor. And what do we have? We have a traveling foul. He fell to the floor with the ball and called for traveling. Inbound for the Huskies in the backcourt. Charnowski threw it off the leg of one of the Chiefs to save it, and it will still belong to St. Cloud State. Steve Nurse checks back in. Doug Beers checks back in now for Morningside. Inbound right at the timeline for DeVita. He leaves it for Kessler. DeVita with the ball on the floor working against Steve Nurse. Dumps it right side to Dean Kessler. Kessler already with 21. Drives the baseline. Turnaround 15-footer short off the rim. Rebound Keski. He gets it back to McDonald. His shot is blocked underneath. Ball loose on the floor. Picked up by Howard Charnowski. With 2.5 remaining and a fresh 45 for the Huskies here in the first half. DeVita now. Right side, Joel McDonald in three-point land on the right side. Post to Kessler. Now back out to McDonald. Into Kessler. Turnaround is blocked by Deers. Ball is loose on the floor. Deers couldn't save it out of bounds. It will belong to St. Cloud State. Joel McDonald will handle the inbound duties. He gets it in now to DeVita. Kessler, about 23 feet away on the top, leaves it for Dino DeVita. 14-point Husky lead, 2:10 remaining first half. 13 on the shot clock. DeVita to McDonald, fakes the three-pointer, now goes into the paint, lays up a 15-footer, missed everything, and Howard Charnowski laid it up and in on the rebound, and he was fouled. Charnowski with the rebound, and the foul is on Mercer, and that is his third. So now the two big guys, Chad Mercer and Jason Seaman, both have 3 fouls for Morningside to add to their woes. Haug has 3 points, chance to make it 4, and the Huskies lead it by 16 at 42-26. 2:01 remaining. At halftime, we'll talk to Butch Raymond about the first half of the NCC season and the prospects for the second half. Free throw is good by Haug. He has 4, and the Huskies lead it again by 17. Under 2 minutes remaining now as Nurse comes into the forecourt for Morningside. Leaves it on the left side for Huff. Now it comes back out on top to Kleppe. Nurse to Huff, way out on the left side as the Huskies are in a zone. DeVita picks Nurse up on top. Now Huff to Deers. He's the shooter. Now to Nurse. Into the post it goes to Kleppe, and he lays it up and in. Mike Kleppe has 4. And it's 43-28 with a minute and a half remaining. DeVita all alone in the backcourt working against Nurse. On the dribble, Dino across the timeline with about 3 seconds remaining on the 10-second count. Now DeVita still on the dribble. Looks for Dean Kessler on the right side and gets it to him. Now McDonald up on top. Works there against Huff. Now he puts it on the floor. Stops. Fakes. Lays up the 10-footer. Won't go. Rebound Charnowski, and he was fouled underneath. And I believe that's going to be on Kleppe. And Morningside right now not real happy with the official. That's Kleppe's third. So Mike Kleppe, Jason Seaman, and Chad Mercer all have 3. That's the 10th foul of the half on Morningside. And that means that all the shots will be 2-shot fouls now. But Haug will get 2 because he was in the act of shooting. So Troy Spann is going to check in for Haug to give him a rest here at the end of the half. But Haug will have to shoot the free throws first with 1:06 remaining. Couple of dribbles by Haug. Sets for the free throw. Nice arc and short off the rim. Haug's a 6'7" sophomore from Wayzata High School. He'll go back to the free throw line and try to reset to make the second one. He has 4 points on the evening. Dean Kessler has 21 first half points, and the Huskies lead it by 15. And now we have a lane violation on the free throw. Haug missed the free throw, but he'll get another one as one of the Chiefs, I believe it was Jason Huff, fell into the lane. There are 3 young men on the Morningside team named Jason Huff, Jason Kleiss, and Jason Seaman. So you're not hearing things. They really all are named Jason. Howell makes the most of the second chance, hits the free throw. He has 5. He'll take a rest now as LaTroy Spann checks in with 1:06 remaining, and the Huskies on top by 16 at 44-28. Nurse will start from the backcourt. With the ball on the dribble, he dumps it on the right side to Kleiss. Against McDonald, into the post to Nurse. Shot doesn't go, got his own rebound, lays it up, and was tipped away by McDonald. And back come the Huskies. Kessler into the forecourt. He'll stop it there. And the Huskies will go for one shot with 40 on the shot clock and 39 now on the game clock. About a 4-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock as the Huskies lead it by 16. Kessler on the dribble now against Deers. They were teammates at Iowa Lakes Community College. DeVita up on top, 25 on the game clock, 20 now on the shot clock. Differential is actually about 3 seconds. McDonald leaves it now for DeVita. He'll work against Nurse. 13 seconds to shoot for the Huskies as they try to get the last shot of the half. McDonald, 7 on the shot clock and a whistle underneath, and a foul on LaTroy Spann. So the ball will come back the other way. That's LaTroy's second, only the 6th on the Huskies in the half, so will not have free throws. Chris Bodette will check in now for defense, and LaTroy Spann will take a rest. No, Greg Kesty is going to sit down. LaTroy is going to stay on the floor. With 10 seconds remaining, Morningside will get one last shot here in the first half. Nurse has come across the timeline with 7 now. With the ball on the floor, he leaves it for Deers. 3 if it goes. Long off the rim, no good. Rebound tapped around, laid up and in at the buzzer. And we'll have to see who that was. That's somebody who's not even on the roster. That's David Cotton, a freshman from Liberty, Missouri. And he got the buzzer at the bucket. He got the bucket rather at the buzzer for St. Cloud State. Ward, Springer, Charnowski, Kesty, and Kessler, the starters out there for St. Cloud State, as they work in the forecourt as they move left to right here in the second half, leading by 14. Into the lane to Springer. 10-footer runner was not good, and the rebound comes down to the Morningside Chiefs. Into the forecourt now is Nurse. Left side for Kleiss. Drives the baseline. 7-footer rolls off. Rebound underneath to Greg Kesty. He triggers it quickly ahead to Ward as the Huskies run again. Lob past Springer. He couldn't handle it, but he comes down with it in the low post. Lays it up and in. Scott Springer has 5, and the Huskies are up 46-30. We're in the first minute of play here in the second half. Up on top now, Huff for Morningside to Nurse. Ball was tipped away by Kessler, but Nurse got it back. Into the post to Mercer, and he was fouled, I believe, by Howard Charnowski. We'll see what referee Dave Carlsrud says here. Nope, the foul is on Greg Kesty. That's Greg's first, and it's the first team foul of the second half on the Huskies. Inbound now to Nurse. Morningside works in the forecourt. Nurse with it on the floor, leaves it up on top to Kleiss. He's watched by Ward. In the low post, Mercer. Turn around to short off the rim. No good. Rebound Kessler for St. Cloud State. Coach Raymond hollering instructions for the Huskies. Danny Ward in for the paint. Bounce pass, low post, Kesty. Turn around is good. Greg Kesty has 6, and the Huskies are back on top by 18. Their biggest lead was 20 in the first half. They're up now 48-30. Nurse with the ball on the floor will come across the timeline uncontested as the Huskies drop back on defense. 18.5 remaining in the game. Bounce pass now into the lane, and Mercer with the jam. Chad Mercer with the stuff. He has 6. First 2 points of the half for Morningside, and it's a 16-point Husky lead. Quickly ahead, Charnowski. Low post off the glass and in. The Huskies are going end-to-end. Howard Charnowski has 7, and now Danny Ward picks up a foul in the backcourt. That's 3 on Danny. Huskies lead it by 18 at 50-32. Second team foul of the half on the Huskies. 98 Country is WWJO St. Cloud. 98.1 FM for all of Minnesota. I'll get it out yet. Deers has the ball in the forecourt now. Way up on top it comes to Huff. His pass is tipped away and stolen by Charnowski. He triggers it ahead to Ward. He's 2-on-1 with Kesty. Behind his back to Greg. 15-footer good. Nice pass by Danny Ward, and Greg Kesty has 8. And the Huskies have matched their biggest lead at 52-32 with just under 18 minutes remaining here in the ballgame. Huskies have been in control since about the 10-minute mark of the first half. Into the post now, it goes to Huff. He fakes Kesky, laid it up, and no good, but I believe Greg picked up the foul. Greg doesn't agree. Dino DeVita is going to check in for St. Cloud State. Jason Seaman is going to check in for Morningside. Danny Ward will sit down for the Huskies. That's the second foul on Kesky and the third foul of the half on the Huskies. Morningside has not committed a foul here in the early going of the second half. Free throw by Huff is good. He has 7 points. He had 6 in the first half on 2 3-pointers. Second free throw is also good. So Huff has 8. Husky lead is 18 with 17.5 remaining. Pressure in the backcourt now. Morningside will have to try to pick up the pace to get back in the ballgame. DeVito with the ball on the floor against Nurses. Everybody clears out and Dino comes across the timeline. The freshman from Milwaukee, Marquette, with the ball on the floor. Leaves it way up on top for Scott Springer. Down the right side, looking in the post. Gets it to Haug there. Turnaround by Sharnowski is long off the rim. Rebound by Nurse for Morningside. Tipped away by Sharnowski, and he lays it up and in. Haug Sharnowski with the steal on the basket. Haug has 9, and the Huskies are back up by 20 at 54-34. Quickly into the forecourt goes Morningside, and a whistle and a foul on Dino DeVita. That's Dino's first and the fourth team foul now as the Huskies mount up the fouls here quickly in the second half. And that will send Morningside to the free throw line relatively quickly if that keeps up. Forecourt inbound now for Morningside. Slice will do that from underneath the bucket. Gets it into Deers, fakes a shot, and got Dean Kessler off his feet, and Dean picked up the foul, reaching to try to keep Deers from going around him. That's Dean's first, and now the fifth on the Huskies in the half. 17 minutes even remaining in the regulation time. Huskies lead it by 20 at 54-34. Inbound now to Nurse. Up on top to Deers. Drives it down the left side. 12-footer off the glass too hard. Tapped up and in, though, by Huff as he got in there, and he has 10. And it's an 18-point Husky league. Now Haug with the ball on the floor. Now DeVita in the forecourt as he got it from Kesky. Handling the ball, gets the press in the backcourt. DeVita in the paint. 10-footer on the run is no good. And the rebound comes down to Huff from Morningside. He lost it on the floor but picked it up again. His pass is chipped away by DeVita out of bounds, but it'll still belong to Morningside with 40 on the shot clock. Husky coach Butch Raymond hollering instructions to his ball club as Steve Nurse will bring the ball across the timeline for the Morningside Maroon Chiefs. From Sioux City, Iowa. Deers with the ball up on top. Now it goes left side to Seaman. Back to Huff. He's picked up quickly by Kesky. To Deers, who's watched by Dean Kessler, former teammate. Deers' shot is long from the baseline, way over the top, but the rebound to Huff on the far side. Now Kleiss' three-pointer won't go, but tipped up and in by Deers. Off the glass, he got the rebound. Deers, the leading scorer for Morningside, only has 4, and it's a 16-point Husky lead. Sharnowski quickly into the forecourt now. He'll stop and wait for Dino DeVita to set the offense. Dino with the ball on the floor, working up top against Nurse. Right side it goes to Springer. He tried to get into the post. His pass was tipped away, but Scott got it back. Now to Haug Sharnowski and back up top to Dino DeVito. They'll reset there with 22 on the time clock. Kessler on the left side. He's watched there by Deers. Now Dino up on top with 15 on the shot clock. Down the lane he goes. His shot was blocked as he went down among the big guys. Butch Raymond wants a foul. Not going to happen. Back comes Morningside. Kleiss down the left side. Wheels, dumps it off for Deers, who lays it up and in. Nice fast break. Doug Deers has 6. Butch Raymond wants a timeout to settle his ball club down, and we'll take a timeout. 15-17 remaining in the ball game. The score, St. Cloud State 54, Morningside 40. Against pressure in the backcourt as they take the timeout to try to stop the run by Morningside. DeVita now, and everybody else will clear out, and he'll work against Nurse. Huskies were up by 20 at 54-34. Now it's 54-40 as we reach 15 minutes remaining in the second half. Kessler, 17-footer, won't go, rimmed out. Rebound loose on the floor, picked up by Springer, and he lays it up and in. Scott Springer has played a strong game on the boards and underneath. He has 7 points, and the Huskies are back up by 16. Nurse into the forecourt now for Morningside. Leaves it up on top for Deers, who's watched now by Scoot Kramer, who's in the ballgame. Three-pointer won't go, but it's tapped up by Jason Seaman and in for 2. He has 8, and it's a 14-point Husky lead. Dino DeVita quickly across the timeline now. Now he'll stop and set the offense. 25 feet away up on top. Steve Nurse is hurt from Morningside, wants someone in for him. DeVita drives on him and lays it up and in. Dino DeVita took advantage of it. Laid it up and in. First two for Dino, and it's a 16-point Husky lead. Now Deers, 3 if it goes. Yes, as the pace has quickened here, Doug Deers has 9 points, and it's a 58-45 ball game. DeVita across the timeline now. The freshman looks left, gives it to Kessler. 15-20, long off the rim. He's got it close. Kisco Debt lays the rebound up and in. Kisco Debt, good ball game, has 6 points, and the Huskies lead it by 15. Under 14 minutes remaining. Morningside's trying to start a run, but the Huskies are answering them every time that they do. Ball's loose now in the post, and it's picked up by Stu Kramer. Turnover Morningside, as the Chiefs have had trouble hanging on to the basketball. And DeVita barks out the signals. The 2 quarterbacks, the Huskies, as they lead by 15. To Kessler, to DeVita. Now Dino with the ball on the floor, working against Nurse in the top of the key. Drives the right side, stops the dribble, takes the shot. Nothing there. Leaves it out on top for Scott Springer. Scott looks inside, but leaves it for Dino with 21 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Dino still looking inside. Now Scott Springer on the right wing. He works there against Jason Huff. Now to Stu Kramer. We're down to 12 on the shot clock. Dino DeVita will set from there. Now at 7. Dino leaves the high post for Chris Bodette. 4 on the shot clock. Kessler with the ball. Dumps it out to Springer. 15-footer off the buzzer is good. Scott Springer, as the shot clock expired, got the bucket from 15 feet. Good patience, good ball movement by the Huskies. Springer has 9, and the Huskies lead it by 17. Into the high post now. Jason Seaman working against Chris Bodette. Drives it down the lane. Traveled, dragged his foot. Referees didn't call it. Now Nurse with the ball back out on top. Into the post to Seaman. Ball's tipped away by Kessler. Seaman got it back, laid it up and in, and he was fouled. Nice hustle by Jason Seaman as Dean Kessler tipped the ball away. Seaman got it back, went to the bucket, laid it in, and he was fouled by Chris Bodette. That's 10 points for Seaman. He'll get a chance to make it 11. Joel McDonald will check in now. Danny Ward will check back in. Dean Kessler is going to take a rest, and Dino DeVita will sit down. That's the first foul on Bodette, and the 16th foul of the half on the Huskies, and no team fouls whistled, no fouls whistled on Morningside yet this half. Seaman will try to cut the Husky lead to 14 with this free throw. Free throw up and good. Jason Seaman has 11 points. Now he's going to take a break as David Cotting checks in for Morningside, and they'll press, trailing by 14 with 12:26 remaining in the ball game. Now Ward working against Danny Beard in the backcourt. Picked up his dribble, so they'll have to get it to McDonald. McDonald puts it on the floor, triggers it ahead to Ward, quickly into the forecourt, dumps it right side. Springer, 14-footer from the baseline, might have been partially blocked, and then I think Chris Bodette picked up a foul on the rebound. Yes, it was Chris Bodette. It's 2 on Chris, and we'll have free throws at the other end now, as Morningside is in the bonus, will be for the rest of the half. That could be important with 12:13 remaining in the ballgame. David Cotting will be at the free throw line. He had a couple of points right at the buzzer at the first half to pull Morningside within 14. Cotting takes a couple dribbles and puts the free throw up and out. No good. And the rebound comes down to Scott Springer. He leaves it for Ward. 12 minutes remaining in the ballgame. Huskies lead it by 14. Ward triggers it to McDonald, takes it into the paint. 10-footer on the run is good. Joel McDonald, nice move. As he kept coming into the paint, he has 5, and it's a 16-point Husky lead. Danny Beard, also a teammate of Dean Kessler's at Iowa Lakes Community College, up on top. Leaves it for Johnson. Now to Huff. Right side Johnson, 23-footer, long off the rim, and Scott Springer got the rebound on the far side. Now to Danny Ward. Ward across the timeline working against Beard. To Springer. Left wing, Stu Kramer. Underneath Chris Bodette, let it in! Nice work by Stu Kramer. He got it to Chris Bodette. Chris has 8 points, 4 in each half, and the Huskies are back on top by 18. Johnson on the right wing for Morningside. Puts it on the floor. Now he picks up his dribble. to the post to Cotting, and he was pushed by Bodette. So quickly, Chris Bodette has picked up 3 fouls here in the second half. And again, we'll have free throws, and Haug Charnowski is going to check back into the ball game, I would assume, for Chris Bodette. And that's the way it's going to be. Jason Kleiss is also going to check in for Morningside. Greg Keskey will check in for the Huskies. Chris Bodette will sit down, as I mentioned, and Scott Springer will take a well-deserved break. David Cotting will get another shot at the 1-and-1. He missed the front end of the 1-and-1 a minute ago. Free throw is good. 3 points for David Cotting. He'll get one more opportunity and try to close the Husky lead to 16. 66-49, the Huskies lead it. They ran off 20 straight in the first half to go up 38-18. Free throw was good, but we have a lane violation on Morningside, so it will not count. And now Dave Van Drager is going to check in for David Cotting. Pressure in the backcourt again as the Huskies will inbound after the violation. Greg Keskey will trigger. Gets it into Danny Ward, and they'll clear out and let him work on the dribble. He beats Beard up the right side, but Beard quickly gets back into play. Ward still with the ball on the floor. Dumps it in the low post to Haug. Turnaround is good. It rolled in on a foul. Haug Charnowski with the turnaround. It crawled the rim and fell in. And he'll have a shot at the three-point play. Haug has 11 with a chance to make it 12. That's the first team foul on Morningside in the half, and let's see who it's on. It's on Dave Van Drager, and that is his first personal. Haug had 5 in the first half on a field goal and 3 free throws. He's got 3 field goals here in the second half, and again a chance to go with 12 points for the ball game. Free throw is good. It hit the back rim and then fell through as it bounced way up in the air. He has 12, and the Huskies lead it again by 20. That matches their biggest lead at 69-49. And we have a whistle and a foul underneath. Well, maybe we have a warning to Coach Jerry Smoody of Morningside. He's up and on official Dick Kelly, and Dick Kelly went over and asked him to sit down and gave him a warning. We'll watch that situation for you. Twice now for Morningside as they trigger it in. Left side, low post, it goes to Van Drager. He's triple teamed down there by McDonald, Keskey, and he gets a 5-second call. Haug Charnowski also in on the triple team, the violation with the 5-second call, and the ball will go over to the Huskies. Doug Deers is going to check back in for Morningside. And Todd Johnson will take a rest. Also checking back in is Jason Seaman, and he'll come in for Dave Van Drager. Huskies lead it by 20. That has been their biggest lead. They've had that a couple times in the ballgame. Charnowski now leads it for Danny Ward against pressure. Beard providing the pressure for Morningside. Danny still with the ball on the dribble. Starts down the left side, stops at the free throw line, dumps it to Haug Charnowski. Now Dan Ward again up on top. Has a new dribble. 29 on the shot clock. Low post to Haug. 10-foot turnaround is good. Haug Charnowski is having a great ball game. He has 14. And the Huskies have their biggest lead now at 71-49, a 22-point margin with just over 10 minutes remaining. Now Greg Keskey tips the pass away out of bounds, and the ball will still belong to Morningside. Dino DeVita is going to check back in, and Danny Ward is going to take a break.
Dino DeVita reports back in for Huskies.
Twice, inbound to Seaman, up on top to Beard. Deers, back to Beard against the zone. Now on the floor is Van Drager. His shot up and no good, and he was fouled, I believe, by Keskey. Shot was put up by Mike Kleppe. Check that. It was not Van Drager. It was Kleppe. And the foul is on Greg Keskey, and that's Greg's third. That's the 9th team foul on the Huskies in the half. This was a shooting foul, but all fouls now will be 2 shots from Morningside. Free throw is good by Mike Kleppe. He has 5 points. Chance to make it 6, and chance again to cut the lead to 20 with exactly 10 minutes remaining in the ball game. Free throw good. DeVita now in the backcourt as he has the ball left for him by Haug Charnowski. Dino across the timeline on the dribble, working against Beard. Now he goes down the left side, picks up his dribble, maybe prematurely, but he leaves it for Stu Kramer up on top. Now to Joel McDonald as they weave around the key. McDonald back to DeVita up on top. He brings it down the right-hand side to McDonald in the corner. And a foul on, I believe, Deers. Let's see what we got here. Yes, it is. It's on Doug Deers, and that's his first. That's just it's just the second team foul of the half on Morningside. And Steve Nurse checks back in for Danny Beard for Morningside. Inbound in the forecourt for the Huskies. Stu Kramer on the near side. Looking in. Now he triggers it into Dino DeVita. To Joel McDonald, way up on top. Into the high post to Keski. Give and go to DeVita. His shot was blocked underneath by Seaman. Dino was in the land of the Giants, but the Huskies get it back with 33 seconds on the shot clock. DeVita's pass is tipped away by Nurse, and back comes Morningside to Deers. Shot is no good. Rebound tapped around and comes down to Husky. Ahead to Hartranowski all alone, and it's good. On the break, Haug has 16 points, and the Huskies have matched their biggest lead at 22, 73-51, with under 9 minutes remaining. Three-pointer by Deers, long off the rim, no good. Rebound comes down to DeVita. Back come the Huskies on the break. DeVita 2-on-4, and he'll back away. To Kesty, 17-footer, good. Greg Kesty has 10, and the Huskies have their biggest lead at 75-51. Morningside wants a timeout, so we'll take a timeout. 8:37 remaining in the ballgame. St. Cloud State leads Morningside 75-51. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
So you hear the sort.
Dean Kessler had 20 first half points. He has not scored in the second half. But Haug Sarnowski has 11, and Greg Kesty and Scott Springer each have 6 in the second half to pace the Huskies, who led 44-30 at halftime. They're now up 75-51. Kleiss now for Morningside on the left wing. Up on top to Beard, who's back in for Nurse. Back to Kleiss. Fakes the three-pointer. Pass was tipped away by DeVita out of bounds. It'll belong to Morningside. 8:15 remaining. Now Beard working against DeVita in the zone up on top. Kleiss into the post to Seaman. Back out to Deers. Three-pointer good. Doug Deers has 12 points with a couple of three-pointers, and it's a 21-point Husky lead. Ball tapped out of bounds on pressure by Morningside. It will still belong to the Huskies. McDonald, Springer, DeVita, Kramer, and Kesty in the ballgame for the Huskies. DeVita will now work against pressure. The Huskies clear out, let him work one-on-one. Freshman point guard comes into the forecourt with the ball on the dribble. Lost his dribble, but picked it back up on top. Left wing to Joel McDonald, another freshman. To Stu Kramer. Now DeVita, as the Huskies will be very patient, use as much time as they can now, leading by 21. Into the corner, McDonald had it tipped out of his hands by Deers. It will still belong to the Huskies.
Number 34, Jason Huff reports back in for Morningside.
Jason Huff checking back in now for Morningside, and he'll replace Jason Kleiss. DeVita inbounds on the far side. Stu Kramer leaves it for DeVita. He'll set the offense with 15 on the shot clock. 7:25 remaining in the ballgame. Stu Kramer now on the right wing with 10 on the shot clock. Springer way up on top into the post to Kesty, and he was fouled. The Huskies were patient, and they drew the foul. Foul is on Jason Seaman, and that is his fourth.
13 foul.
And the third team foul of the half on Morningside. DeVita will inbound in the offensive zone for the Huskies from underneath the basket. To Joel McDonald on the right baseline. Lost the ball on the dribble, but I believe he was fouled by Deers. It is on Deers, and that is Doug's second. And the fourth team foul now of the half on Morningside. And again, DeVita will inbound from underneath the basket. 45 on the shot clock, a fresh 45 on the foul. Kramer triggers it up on top to Springer. Now Scott picked up a dribble, got to get rid of it. He gets it to Joel McDonald on the right baseline. He comes out on the dribble and gives it to DeVita. Dino will set from there. Right side to Stu Kramer. High post to Kesty. He lost the ball, and it's picked up by Morningside. Beard into the forecourt. Low post it goes now to Kleppe. His shot wouldn't go. Rebound loose on the floor. Tied up there, and we have a traveling call, but on whom? with a traveling call, but on whom? On Doug Deers of Morningside. The ball will belong to St. Cloud State. Haug Charnowski is going to check back in. Dean Kessler is going to check back in. And Danny Ward is going to check back in. Kessler, Kramer, Ward, Charnowski, and Kesty in the ball game. Inbound now to Charnowski in the backcourt against pressure. He leaves it for Ward. He's double teamed there, but he breaks the double team on the dribble and comes into the forecourt. 6:35 remaining. Up by 21. Danny Ward will set the offense from up on top now. Working against Beard. Puts the ball in the dribble to the right wing. Picks up his dribble, now dumps it to Kessler. Kessler takes the shot, and we have a whistle and a lane violation on St. Cloud State. I believe Hudson actually was in the first one. And we'll see the ball goes back to the winning side. Beard now into the forecourt for the Maroon Chiefs. If they're going to make a move, they've got to do it relatively quickly. Kleppe with the ball up on top, leaves it for Deers. He's the shooter. He and Huff will try to shoot the three-pointers to get him back in the ball game. Huff on the right side. Beard with the ball on the floor. Now he picks up his dribble, watched by Kramer. Leaves it for Kleppe. Into the right corner to Huff. He fakes the three-pointer, puts it on the floor, and now picks up his dribble against Ward. 15-footer is good. Huff faked the three-pointer, went in a little bit farther, hit the two-pointer. He has 12 points, and it's a 19-point Husky lead. Again, pressure in the backcourt now. Greg Kesty triggers it into Danny Ward. He'll work against Beard, and Danny Ward was hit in the face by Beard, but we're not going to have a foul call. I'm not sure how that can work. The referee knew that Danny Ward got hit in the face, stopped the play because he did, but didn't call the foul. That's interesting. Ward now in the backcourt against pressure. Quickly he beats the pressure on the dribble. Danny has done a nice job of that all night long. Working against Beard. Mankato Loyola graduate leaves it in the post now. Kesty, 10-foot turnaround, good. Greg Kesty has 12. 21-point Husky lead with 5:20 remaining. Deers way out on the right side, watched by Kessler. Into the low post it goes now. Kleppe lays it off the glass and in. Mike Kleppe has 8. Again, pressure in the backcourt. Haug Charnowski, double team, leaves it for Danny Ward. He's doubled there, comes out of it on the dribble, picks up his dribble and triggers it ahead to Kesty. Across the timeline, Greg leaves it for Haug Charnowski and back to Danny Ward. 33 on the shot clock. The Huskies will use a lot of it. Kessler, 17-footer. Maybe they won't. Dean Kessler hits a 17-footer. His first 2 points of the second half, 22 on the ball game, and it's a 21-point Husky lead. Morningside, Huff, into the low post, Kleppe, 10-foot turnaround, good. Mike Kleppe has 10, and it's a 19-point lead and a foul in the backcourt on Morningside against Haug Charnowski. Chris Bodette is going to check into the ball game. I believe he's going to give Greg Kesty a break. The foul is on Mike Kleppe, and that is his 4th. He and Jason Seaman both have 4 fouls. Just the 5th team foul on Morningside, so there'll be no free throws with 4:36 remaining. Midway in the backcourt, Danny Ward will inbound on the far side. Stu Kramer now back to Danny Ward. 4.5 remaining in the ballgame. Huskies lead it by 19. Dan Ward up on top. Picks up the dribble. Stu Kramer on the left side. He puts it on the floor and brings it up on top to Dean Kessler. Ward picks up a screen from Chris Bodette. Takes it down the right side. Leaves it up on top back now. Bodette. Kessler on the left side. Faked the shot. Faked the shot again and left it for Haug Charnowski. Now Stu Kramer on the right wing. Looked into the post, but Kessler didn't get it to him, and back up on top to Ward. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, lob pass was stolen. Kleppe, and he leaves it now for Beard. To Huff. Three-pointer short on the rim. Rebound tapped around underneath, still loose on the floor. Picked up by Morningside, and a foul. Picked up by Dave Van Drager, and he was fouled on the shot by Haug Charnowski. And with you for John Schroeder with Husky basketball on 98 Country from Hallenbeck Hall. First free throw by Van Drager is good. He'll get one more. Husky basketball also this weekend, Friday and Saturday night from the 2 North Dakota schools with John Schroeder here on 98 Country. Second free throw also good. Van Drager has 2 points, and it's a 17-point Husky cushion with 3:45 remaining. They break the pressure. Kramer ahead to Ward into the forecourt. Ward takes it up off the glass. Bad shot. Didn't get it, but he got his own rebound. And then I believe he called a timeout. He was double-teamed, and he called the timeout. So the Huskies take a timeout. 3:38 remaining. The score, St. Cloud State 79. 3:38 remaining. Danny Ward inbounds to Dean Kessler in the forecourt. Again, the Huskies will try to use all 45 seconds as they're up by 17 with 3.5 remaining. They've led by as many as 22 in the ballgame. Ward up on top now against Beard. To Chris Bodette on the right wing. The big guy puts it on the floor and leaves it for Dean Kessler. Quickly back to Dan Ward. 15 on the shot clock now. Now the Huskies will start with 10. To Stu Kramer on the right wing. Puts it on the floor. Takes it all the way and lays it in. Stu Kramer took it all the way. He has 5 points, and the Huskies are back up by 19 with 3 minutes remaining. Van Drager leaves it on the left side for Fleiss. To Todd Johnson, down the right side to Beard. Into the post it goes, laid up and in by Van Drager. Dave Van Drager has 4. Pressure in the backcourt now. Charnowski is double-teamed. Leaves it for Bodette, and he's fouled by Beard. He got Beard off his feet, and Beard came down on top of him. That's Danny Beard's first foul, and just 6 on Morningside. So after this one, it'll be a bonus situation for the Huskies with 2:44 remaining. Again, full court pressure in the backcourt. Everybody's back there. Now Stu Kramer breaks out, and the pass comes into Charnowski. Double team, the big guy puts it on the floor and triggers it ahead to Ward. Danny across the timeline now, 2.5 remaining. 81-64, St. Cloud State leads it. Ward on the dribble on the left side. Into the high post, Charnowski, 15-footer, rolls off, and the rebound to Van Drager. I don't think Butch Raymond wanted that shot taken that soon. Back comes Morningside now, and lost out of bounds, and it'll belong to St. Cloud State. Joe McDonald's going to check in now, as is Dino DeVita. Stu Kramer and Dan Ward are going to sit down. Scott Springer will check in. And Howard Charnowski's going to take a break. The Huskies will work in the backcourt again against pressure with 2:18 remaining. St. Cloud State has played a good ball game. They had a 20-point run in the middle of the first half to go up by 20 after the ball game was tied at 18, and they've been in control ever since. DeVita moving on the floor against Beard. 2:08 remaining. 35 on the shot clock. Now McDonald working out there against Fleiss. On the dribble, dumps it to Springer on the left wing. He brings it up on top to Dean Kessler, the co-captain. On the right side to Springer. Low post Kessler. Turnaround is blocked by Van Drager out of bounds, and the ball will belong to St. Cloud State. Now one referee's got St. Cloud State, one referee's got Morningside. And it will belong to Morningside. The referee under the basket made the call, said the ball went off Kessler after it was blocked, and it will be Morningside's ball. Brian Akovic checks in now for St. Cloud State, the senior captain, and he's a senior from Corey, native of Cold Spring. Beard across the timeline now for Morningside. Only 1:45 remaining, and the Huskies lead it by 17. LaTroy Spann is going to check back in for the Huskies. Van Drager in the paint, 12-footer is no good, but he was fouled on the blocking foul by Scott Springer.
Foul call number 34, Scott Springer. That's his second.
And that's 2 on Scott.
Number 52.
And LaTroy Spann will check in now for Chris Bodette. Dave Van Drager will go to the line to shoot 2. He has 4 points. Chad German is going to check in for St. Cloud State. He's a sophomore, 6'2" from Sandstone, went to East Central High School, and he's going to replace whom? He's going to replace Scott Springer. He played a very strong game underneath the basket. 81-65, the Huskies lead it. They led by as many as 22 at 71-49. Free throw is good by Van Drager. And now there'll be the inbound against pressure in the backcourt. Problem with the floor over on the other side of the floor. They're looking at a bad spot on the floor. Bill Herzog and Dave Carlsrud, two of the 3 officials, decide that It's a problem, so Bill Herzog runs over and gets a towel, and they're going to wipe up a wet spot on the floor with 1:38 remaining. 81-66. 15-point Husky lead with just 1:38 remaining. The Huskies hang on, which they should. They'll go to 6-4, and they'll be alone in 4th place in the MCC. Actually, they'll be tied for 3rd place with Nebraska Omaha. Down out of the baseline. Fingers it out to Berman. Three-pointer, no good. And the rebound comes down to Morningside as they break out. Beard ahead to Van Drager. His layup hit the bottom of the backboard, but Johnson came away with it twice. Three-pointer from the top, no good, and the rebound comes down to Dino DeVita. Quickly ahead to Chad Berman, and he lost it out of bounds. It was too far, and Chad was in with the bucket. He couldn't handle it. Turnover, it'll go over to Morningside with 1:10 remaining. Butch Raymond letting the reserves hustle a little bit now, turning up the Jets and having some fun with their few minutes on the court. Beard now has it in the forecourt. Leaves it for Johnson. Faked the three-pointer, and he traveled. Shuffled his feet before he put it on the floor with 1 minute remaining exactly. And the Huskies leading it by 15. Pressure in the backcourt. DeVita quickly into Ackervik. He'll work against Johnson across the timeline. Brian Ackervik with the ball on the floor. Loses his balance, lost his dribble. Ball's loose on the floor, picked up by Van Drager. He gets it to Cotting. Cotting bothered by Spann, he triggers it ahead to Johnson. Johnson lost it on the floor. Ball is loose. Now it comes out to Beard. Three-point attempt, good. Danny Beard with a three. He has 7. And it's a 12-point Husky lead, but only 30 seconds remaining. DeVita against pressure in the backcourt. Loses it on the floor. Ball still loose. Finally it comes to Chad German across the timeline with just 23 seconds remaining. Shot clock is off. 20 seconds on the game clock. And DeVita will set the Huskies. Dino has the ball with 15 seconds remaining. Chad German on the left wing. Puts it on the floor. Now the 17-footer. No good. Long off the back rim. Rebound Cotting with just 8 seconds remaining for Morningside. He leaves it for Beard with just 3 seconds remaining across the timeline. Stops, put up the three-pointer at the buzzer, and it's good. Danny Beard finishes with 10 points. Makes it look respectable at 81-72 with the final score. But it was never in doubt from about the midpoint of the first half when the Huskies ran off 20 points. And they go to 6-4 in the MCC with the final 81-72 over Morningside. We'll take a 2-minute timeout and be back to talk about it at Hallenbeck Hall.